you're wondering about Rick O'Barry, his story of redemption. It's like, man, this guy really messed up, and now he's had repentance for the past 35 years. You know what I mean? It's like there's all those elements in the film that needs to be communicated, because otherwise people think that the 2 minutes of this 93-minute film is the whole film, and then they don't go to see it.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Real life suspense, eco thriller. It's the best way to help.
Live with Miles, who's an editor on the film.
Oh, you do?
I'm from Boulder, and
So
I've actually
and you know
met
Jeff
Charles.
too, Jeff Richmond.
I never met Jeff. I lived with Miles and Tom in Boulder.
Cool. I think these guys did the most phenomenal job of editing I've ever seen
I
in
live
my
with them
life.
here, so I kind of when they were in we actually lived together when they went to Japan to shoot all that.
They are amazing.
Yeah, really good guys.
Those guys are
Really good guys.
huge heroes. It's
They're good
amazing
friends of
to
mine.
put this together.
And it's the first time I've seen it.
Well, I'm glad you saw it.
Yeah. I've been meaning to. It's just
You have a lot of people on Facebook and Twitter.
yeah. I'm gonna make sure I get involved.
Real life suspense eco thriller. That's what helps, because as long as it's in the theaters, it helps focus international media attention on the issue. If it leaves the theaters because people think it's a movie that doesn't exist, that they created in their own head, it doesn't shut down the Cove. It shuts down the Cove by keeping it in the theaters, because then the media do cover the story. So long as it's in the theaters, the media will cover the story. And so we need everybody to communicate what they saw, not some movie that doesn't exist. The footage exists, as you know, because we're friends with them, but that wasn't the movie they made. You know what I mean?
It stays on theaters and gets a wider release and
Yeah. Well, that's up to you.
yeah, absolutely.
Communicating to all your friends to communicate to all their friends. You guys are the heroes. That's what Charles was saying. That song, Heroes of Hate, is for the audience and all the people who picked up and taken action as a result of seeing the movie. But they have to see it in order to get involved. If they hear about it, they go, oh yeah, so what? And they move on like any other news story. But if they see this movie, they actually start taking action. They take one action. It works out, they take another. And all of a sudden they're empowered. People who were apathetic before they saw this movie, not activated, they become activated. 12-year-old kids the other day, they saw this film, the teacher came to see us later that night, and he said, would you talk to the classroom? So we went over there to talk to the class. These kids were like, hey, we want to put together a Facebook page called Cove Kids. We're like, whoa, okay, cool, do it, you know? In 8 hours, they had it up. They're signing up all the kids to show people the kids love this film. We have 5-year-old, this little kid, 5-year-old director. The second the film ended at the Fairfax on Beverly, just west of Fairfax, it wasn't over here at the Santa Monica Plex, which plays, 11 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. They have 5 show times at the Fairfax on Beverly, just west of Fairfax, right? And after the 7:40 show and 10 p.m. show, we've been doing Q&A. So the teacher came back later that night and said, would you come talk to this class? And 8 hours later, they have a Cove Kids page up because they love the film. So Noah Rector, this little kid, 5-year-old kid, we were like, he's at the 10 p.m. showing. I'm like, whoa, his father was on the TV show Survivor, and he teaches young men excellence. That's Time. That's his, nonprofit group, teaching young men excellence in the inner city, right? In Compton. So he's like, this little 5-year-old kid, the second the film ends, Charles goes to the front and says, hi, I'm Charles Hamilton. This 5-year-old kid runs down to the front, and Charles goes, well, I guess the questions start here. and he was like this big, And he started asking all these amazing questions.
That's awesome.
And Charles was answering these questions, and the entire audience started crying because this kid was activated. He loves this film. He's going around telling kids in his, in his school, do you know that dolphins are whales? And they're killing them, and it ain't cool? Do you know that dolphins swim 40 miles a day and keeping them in a tank ain't cool. This is a 5-year-old kid.
Yeah.
This is
That's
his activism.
Yeah.
So his big thing was he wanted to see whales and dolphins in the wild. And so Charles said, okay. So just out of motivation to bring Noah to see the whales, and dolphins in the wild, he called up Harbor Breeze in Long Beach and said, can we set this up? And they said, yeah, sure. And by the way, we'll give you a discount on anyone who brings a Cove movie ticket. So then they did it at the Condor in Santa Barbara. So if you come to see the film, you take your ticket stub and you can use it as a discount at these 2 whale watching places, and we think this afternoon a third one's going to join. Like, this is because of Noah Rector, a 5-year-old kid. You can now get whale watching discourse.
That's great.
You know what I mean?
You should take them along with you.
Well,
Take them along with you on these Q&As and tours.
We're going to take him to another thing that's coming up.
If it gets some festival in
He's so
Japan,
vocal. This kid's a star. The kid's a star.
Bring him to Japan if you get to the festival there.
Yeah.
Let him speak.
Did you hear about the
Oh, that's what he was saying.
Yeah, Tokyo turned it down, even though their focus this year is green carpets and eco and animal rights. Like, this film is one. It's been won the Sundance Awards, and it's won 12 other film festivals worldwide. To packed houses and standing ovations and Q&As that have gone on longer than the film. And yet, the Tokyo Film Festival has not accepted it yet. Like, for why? Like, what are you hiding? You know what I mean? It's like...
that can help.
Well, right now, because Rick went over there to the Cove on September 1st, he was met by 9 cops and 3 TV stations. For the first time, for years, he's been trying to get them to cover the story. And only because of the Cove now. And because Broome, the sister city in Taiji, Rick went over there and had him cut ties with Taiji. He talked to people and they cut ties with Taiji. Temporarily suspended the ties until Taiji gets their act together. You know what I mean? And turns into a whale watching co-op instead of a whale killing co-op. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he had 3 TV crews for the first time in years. He's been trying to get them to cover it. They came and covered it.
That's awesome.
In Tokyo. Last night we talked to him at like 4 in the morning. We were up at 4 in the morning. We talked to Rick. He was at Fudo, where a guy who used to kill dolphins and whales just became a whale watching guy. He now has a whale watching business. He's making twice the money.
Yeah.
It's economically better to be in a whale watching business than a whale killing business.
Wow.
So this guy's like benefiting from like the changeover, And they all would, because if you think about it, by 2040, all the fish will be fished out of the sea. 90% of all fish have been fished out of the sea right now. The other 10% will be so laden with mercury you won't want to eat them.
Unfortunately, people don't.
So that means that the Japan fishing, the industry, which is so important to the economy of Japan, it has a finite end date, because at this rate, their finite end date is 2040, right?
Yeah.
So it would help if people like the head of Sony, Chairman Morita, and people who are strong in Japan, especially with the new government, would help them transition to new industries like whale watching. Just like Portugal went from a whale killing to a whale watching nation, they're making twice the money.
Yeah.
So it's like it would be a great legacy for people like Chairman Morita from Sony to help his people transition from a dying industry into a sustainable industry that they can have forever, that respects the heritage of their connection with the whales and the dolphins. And dolphins are whales, so I'm saying it. The same thing twice. But you know what I mean?
Great, yeah.
So,
Hopefully that'll happen.
as opposed to opposing the film and trying to keep it a secret, which is crazy. Because their industry will be over. If this film never existed, by 2040, that industry's gone.
Yeah.
And he could lead his people into a new form of a new economy, a new industry, whale watching.
Yeah.
So,
Nice. Well,
sorry.
no,
That was great.
Passionate.
Thanks so much, Larry.
Hope
So
that,
we've been working 20 hours a day and getting 4 hours of sleep at night. It's been a lot of work.
yeah. Well,
So-
that's what.
So we need your help in getting the right word out because of the marketing on this film. There was no advertising, there was no posters, no billboards. So it's like, how is anyone supposed to
all
know
word
about
of
a film playing at 11 a.m. in the Santa Monica Plex?
Right.
Without any advertising, without any posters. And you know the shot of the Cove?
Yeah.
I mean, how stunning that is? You know, Louis Soares is one of the best photographers in the world.
Yeah.
You know, like if not the best. You look at his website, sohoyas.com,
Right.
his shots blow you out of the water. Now this shot of Mandy, you know, the free diver
Right.
on the poster, can you imagine that on Sunset Boulevard, big and bold? Everybody would be coming to